Hey everyone, welcome back. Going to do a short video today just talking about something new. Well, not new actually, second-hand. I like to buy things second-hand and spend some time working on them, getting them back into working order, and I think it's something that we as outdoors people should do more of. We don't need to go out and buy new gear all the time. So I'm going to, what I'm actually going to be looking at is one of these. This is a Tilley paraffin lamp. Slightly different from your generic hurricane lamp, which you might know as the fewer hand lantern, in the fact that this is actually a pressurized unit that is pushes paraffin up through a tube in the middle, and it vaporizes it and burns on a mantle, as opposed to the hurricane lamp, which is literally just burning a wick with paraffin. So yeah, I'm new to these. I claim to be no expert, but I just love the aesthetic of them, and I just think they're a really good bit of kit, and I've used them for years in the Scouts. So I thought I'd get myself one, which is this one. I've done a full sort of service on it and swapped out a few parts. As you can see, got it working quite nicely. But I was looking at spares for it, and there are quite a few. They are still made in Guildford, I think. So yeah, you can still buy like the hood and the burners and the vaporizers and everything, but they're quite pricey when you buy them individually. So I had a look around, and I thought to myself, well, why don't I see what else I can get? I ended up just buying another lamp. Move that one over there. So yeah, I ended up buying another lamp. Just it was sold as spares and repairs. It came disassembled in the box, and I've put it back together. But looking at it just as I put it back together, I've realised that some of the bits that are on it are actually in better condition than the ones on my first lamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely strip this one down and have a look over it and replace any seals, because I actually think this one is going to burn first time. I've got confidence on it. I think it's going to burn first time, and I do prefer the red base, to be honest. So I'm going to keep this one as my normal one, the one I'm going to use all the time, and this one I'm going to keep as the spares and repairs. But I want to try it. I want to get it going. I want to see it burning. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to take this one apart now, and I'll show you the pieces individually, and we'll have a look and see what's cracking with it. Okay, so it comes with the bail handle. The bail handle actually clips on, and it's what holds the hood on. So I'll take that off, and it just comes off with a little pull on either side, which releases the hood, which on the inside is where the burner is, which is where the mantle sits, as you can see on that one. And usually they're all sooted up, and they all come absolutely black with, yeah, as I say, just carbon and rubbish. This one, you can actually still see the brass, which is quite nice. So anyway, I'm going to leave this one intact. I'm not going to take it out and poke things through it, because I don't actually think it's been that used. I might get a pipe cleaner and just poke a few of those holes if it needs to when I fire it up and I see there's a few that aren't burning nicely. We'll have a look. But that's that. Take glass out. Glass is actually made by Pyrex, same people that make the jugs. Tilley Pyrex, heat resistant, made in the UK. They've been made all over the UK actually. I think they were made in the West Country back in like the 70s, and then they moved to Northern Ireland. They were made in Belfast for a time, and now they've moved down to the south of England. So yeah, this part here is the vaporizer. It's going to come off the top. just threaded on. Most of this should be finger tight because I've only tightened it up a little bit. Yeah, the vaporizer, again, usually corroded and looks awful. This one is, you can actually still see the like the steel. I presume it's made of steel. The steel it's made of, and it's not all coated in rubbish. And there's a little pin that goes up the middle of it, which again isn't actually that dirty. Usually they're after some heavy use they get all clogged up with carbon, and you have to take a piece of sandpaper and take that carbon off, or a bit of wire wool. There's not even any like loose carbon in the tube, so quite happy with that. A bit fiddly to get it back in, but that's in there. This part at the bottom here is called the control cock, or control valve, or whatever you like to call it. And this is where we find our... oh no, a lie. It's not where we find our first seal. The first seal is actually on the bottom of this. And that definitely needs replacing, because it's wafer thin. So I'm going to take that one just straight off. Just because it's... yeah, totally gone. I'm going to replace that seal. There's that bit. I'll move this down just so we can see a line up of them. So the control cock sits on the bottom. Again, this seal it's dried out. It's a bit knackered. Yeah, it's just crumbling. I'll get rid of that one. Put a new seal on the bottom there. Cool. Tear that one off. No, there is this part. This is what causes the pin inside here to go up and down, which is what controls the jet of paraffin that comes out of the top. This gland here has a washer in it as well. I'm not going to disturb it because they are a nightmare to get out if I need to, but we'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But if it doesn't leak, I'm leaving it. That needs a new seal. And then we can move on to the pump itself. It comes on the front. Okay, it's a brass tube. Doesn't smell like paraffin actually. It's got some pressure in there. Don't know if you can hear that. This seal's gone as well. Might need to replace that one as well if I've got any. I don't know. Actually, I'll leave that one. If I haven't got, I don't know if I've got the big seals for the pumps. I know I've got seals for these bits, so I'm not going to muck around with this too much. It's odd that it doesn't smell of paraffin. What's that smell? Inside this top part is where the plunger is. No rubbish in there. Alright, it's grease. That's what it is. Usually, well, this is a little sort of rubber, not rubber, leather even, plunger thing. They come dry and you usually soak them in oil. I use vegetable oil, but some people just use like 3-in-1. And that softens it up and causes a seal inside the tube, which is of course what pressurizes the thing. But whoever had this one previously has filled it with grease. So yeah, we'll see how well it pressurizes, but if needs be, I do have a spare one of these. I might swap that out, but it didn't seem to be too bad when I tried it just then. Let's see if I can get the thing back in the tube. And then there's another seal. Oh no, there's not a seal in the top there. That doesn't need. That is actually a sealed unit where the pump is, because at the bottom there's a non-return valve, which pushes air in, so it doesn't let the air back up. So what can happen is if the non-release valve goes and it's pushing pressure back into it, you'll see this slowly come out on the base. Seems to be pushing air though, so that's all right. The cage does come off. I'm not gonna worry because there's no seals or anything between that and that. Number 5. I don't know what that means. I don't know if the bloke had 5 of them and he sold me the worst one or the best one. Who knows? But yeah, that's as it is. They are stamped with Tilley on the front there. Manufactured United Kingdom. Manufactured in the United Kingdom. It's in good state, to be honest. It is in good nick. So I'm going to swap these seals out, and we'll put it back together, put some fuel in it, see if we can get it fired up. Just replacing that last one on the pump now. So, yeah, they do a few different service kits. Still official Tilley ones. They do a service kit for the pump, so you get all the necessaries for the pump, including like the little brass nut that comes in the bot, the little horseshoe washer, the springs, this little base plate that it goes against. You get all the gubbins for the non-return valve and the seals. They do a service kit, I believe, for the Vaporizer, which comes with new seals, and I don't know if you get a new needle in that, but yeah, just all the gubbins for that, and one for the control cock, which is what did you get with that one? New seals, new handle, I think, the new little gland seal that goes on there, and I think you get the little filter in the, because where that sits, there's a little gauze in the bottom that stops any crud that's in your paraffin from going up the tube into the vaporizer and blocking all that up. It's not sitting very nice. So yeah, I did have a large seal for the he says that he did have a large seal for the pump. Try that the other way. Let's try to put it in there first, shall we? That's better. Cool. Let's go get over the thread. Doesn't make good YouTube, does it, when you're watching someone struggling? There we go. Right. Back on now. Get that bit. There we go. That should be nice and tight now. Back in there. Put back in there. It's working. Right. So now to reassemble the thing. New seal on the bottom, control cock. Gauze goes down and it tightens up clockwise. Normal thread direction, right tight. So that's good and tight on there. Just going to get rid of that. Get rid of the number 5 tag. Don't need that. Vaporizer next goes on top. New seal just on the base. It's a bit loose actually, this one. I don't know if it's right, but we will find out. As long as it clamps down tight. Again, right. Righty tighty. And then the pump. Actually, won't put the pump in because I need to put some fuel in it. Just going to put this down. Put this on here. Get a little funnel with a gauze in it. As I said, just to stop any crud from going in. Jam jar, paraffin. not the most conventional, but we make do. We make do. Right. In to the back. Oh, we're losing it. No, right. Oh. That's why I put the mat down. I mean, it's not a lot of paraffin I'm putting in there. It's only what, 300ml, if that. I think can hold. I think it holds up to about I think it's just under a litre, pint or so. With my first one, I actually got one of the original manuals that it comes with. So we'll follow the instructions when we light this one, just so we're all on the same page. Capacity about 1.5 pints, so 860 millilitres. Seen better days, but it's a good little thing to have. Okay, so I've put some paraffin in there now. I can put that aside. Don't need paraffin all over the place. Not a lot of paraffin in there, but that's all that one's got in. That's been running this whole time just on the same measure. So that's that in. Glass goes back on. Hood goes back on. So what? I won't be able to lift it over and show you, but what happens is once it's pressurised, obviously the paraffin's trying to come up this tube, and there's a pinprick of a hole in the top of the vaporizer, and the control here opens and just allows a tiny jet of paraffin to come out the top, which hits the top of the burner, which when it's hot vaporizes and comes down through these holes in what's called a Bunsen flame. If you imagine the old Bunsen burners at school, yeah, that's the effect we're going for. And then obviously when it's Bunsening, it catches the mantle, which burns with the bright white light, as this one is. So we're going to put this on top. You can feel when it's closed. This is right to close, open to the left. Clockwise closed, anti-clockwise open. You can feel I can feel the needle literally just poking through the top, and then it's open that way. So I'll put this one on, and that'll be there. I'm not going to put the bail handle on. Don't need that. Don't need all that. So let's read the instructions. Check all washers joints are tight. Yep, done that. Fit the mantle. I'm not fitting the mantle because I just want to see it burning. Check the control cock is turned off clockwise. It is. Fill the lamp with clean paraffin. Only remove the pump. Only fill via the pump hole, and use a filtered funnel to the level just below the pump opening. Capacity 1.5 pints. Such and such in millilitres. Provided with each lamp is a jar. Fill the jar with methylated spirit and the torch cup. Right, this is where it differs from other lanterns that burn mantles. Okay, paraffin doesn't burn on its own. Arguably it's not a flammable liquid. What makes it flammable is that it has to vaporize. In other words, it needs to be hot. Whereas if you imagine, and as an extreme example, petrol vaporizes at 3 degrees centigrade, so it will just ignite like that. Small sparks will ignite petrol. Paraffin doesn't do that. It's a sounds stupid, but it's a cold burn. You see what I mean? It needs to be hot for it to be flammable. So yeah, what we have to do is we have to heat the whole unit up, the hood, the vaporizer, and the burner needs to be hot in order for it to vaporize. So once everything's hot, it will be able to burn that paraffin that will be coming out in a vapor form, as opposed to trying to light it just with paraffin coming out. And trust me, you'll get flames coming out through the top, and that's where a lot of people go wrong, and they go, oh, I'm steering clear of them. And that's what soots it all up, to be honest. That's what soots everything up. It's just that unburnt paraffin coming out. So it says, used to be, when they were new, each one would come with a jar and a little preheater, and you have to use that. So what we do now is we actually preheat the thing with methylate spirit, which is a flammable liquid, and it burns relatively clean. So I've got this torch, preheater torch, which is sort of a couple of bits of wadding in a clasp that goes around the vaporizer tube. It's been soaking in methylated spirit. So that sits on the top of the vaporizer there, or the bottom of the vaporizer there. And we find our pack of Swan Vesters. And we fire that up. And also I'm just going to light the candle, if I've got enough match left. And I light candle just so I don't have to keep burning through matches like nothing else. So this can take some time to really heat up the whole thing. Put that out of the way. But while this preheats, I'll shut up, I think, and just let it happen. No, I won't. I'll read through the rest of these. So we're now preheating. Provided with each lamp is a small jar. Fill the jar with methylated spirits, soak the torch. Clip the soaked torch onto the vaporizer tube and burn. So you'd have a mantle on there, which would be burning off the coating that comes on a mantle. I'll do another video on burning in mantles. It's not that much big of a deal. So burning off the coating on the new mantle, and allow the torch to burn for between 90 to 120 seconds. Before it goes out, pressurize, and it should ignite. So obviously there's probably a few cobwebs and stuff all in the top of this, which is burning off now. I can see the flames just licking underneath the hood there, so I know it's getting all nice and toasty up in there. So once it's good and hot, we open the control valve, close the unit. That's open. Close the unit. Make sure there's a new seal in there, so it's a bit loose. And to get it going, you want 20 or so good pumps. Let's give this a go. Wish us luck. Right, there's 20. And it is burning. Right. 10. Take that bit out. Don't put it straight back in your mess because it's going to be hot. Put that on there. Now, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it is burning. It's burning with what's called a Bunsen flame. I'm going to close the curtain and see. Gosh, damn it. This one kicks out some good light actually. I've not really tried it that much. So yeah, this is now burning with what's called the Bunsen flame, and out of the bottom of those burners is just a tiny little, like what you get on a gas ring. It's pulsing a bit at the moment, but that can be because there's only a small amount of paraffin in there. Usually it burns quite sort of smoothly. I can see just one of those holes isn't quite firing like the others, and there's a lot of little sparks. Ooh, flared up a bit then. There's a lot of little sparks coming out, which is burning out all the crap because I've knocked the vaporizer tube and we've had it apart and put new seals in, and that is knocked a lot of the sort of loose carbon and stuff that's in there, so that's just burning off. You should run them like this for quite a while, and then it will be a lot cleaner when it comes to actually burning in the mantle. As for keeping them going, they say you should have, once it's going like this, you put 90, I believe, good pumps into it, and that will last for quite a while, and they say you should do another 40 on the hour just to top it up for as long as you wanted. And I think they say a full tank can last up to about 20 hours or something. It's quite a long time. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. Well, that's got 20 more pumps in it now, and it's really starting to roar. I don't think the control on like gas lamps where it's like high and low, I think it is literally just an on-off. And when they are hot, you should be able to just light it with a match. Let's turn it off. So that nice little pop as it turns off. Just get that match relit. There you go. Yeah. So that's literally off. Yeah. So that lights nice and easy, just with a match. Once it's warmed up. So anyway, there we are. The Tilley lamp, one of the underrated lamps, in my opinion. The actual name of it is, what is it? Tilley Storm Lamp. Yeah, Storm Lamp x246b. They come in different variations. There's the older versions are called the Guardsman, but they all basically work on the same principle. But these are actually two different types. You might be able to see this one's got a metal bar through the middle. This one doesn't have a metal bar through the middle. I believe up until about 1990 they were made with a metal bar, and then they stopped with the metal bar. So I know this one is a lot newer than this one. Funny how this one is actually in better condition, but yeah, glad it's working. Good just for a spares and repairs job. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Sorry it's been a bit sort of haphazard, but it's the way we do things here. Right, thanks very much. Catch you on the next one. Bye now.